Incremental readings. Let's see the general principles of SuperMemo, a very high-level perspective. So the key to effective learning is minimizing the number of repetitions necessary to retain knowledge in memory. That is the optimum interval every time. If I use SuperMemo every day, I will have done the repetition in a timely manner, therefore in an optimal scheduling. So therefore I keep this in my long-term memory with the minimum amount of effort, minimum amount of repetitions. Then SuperMemo minimizes the learning time by approximating optimum intervals. So the intervals that should be separate individual repetitions. So when I do the first repetition, when I do the second, the time in between those repetitions is an interval. And SuperMemo will calculate the optimum. What's the optimum? It's the longest it can be before I forget it. Meaning that if I do it the next day, I will have forgotten already. It's too late. And I want to be as close as about to forget because this strengthens the memory. It's like on steroids. It has a lot more effect than if it goes any other day, that I wasn't about to forget it. With this effect, spaced repetition exploits this effect. That's why you have a huge boost, because you were about to forget it. So SuperMemo minimizes the learning time by doing this. Then, knowledge memorized with SuperMemo must be split into what's called atomic, like the atom, as small as possible. That is just one idea, there's nothing else. And those pieces are called items, flashcards. In SuperMemo, it's called items for whatever reason. So the flashcard only asks one specific, very atomic piece of knowledge. That I use the flashcard as a human as one way to revisit that memory. That, what is the capital of Spain? No. And I revisit the memory, I do the synapse, and I do the recall. The flashcard is a representation so I do this effort. When I do revisit that, I strengthen that memory. And then by using SuperMemo, you must not forget the quality of learning will depend on the selection of the material. One of the side effects, one of the disadvantages of incremental learning is the capacity to learn garbage. There's a video for that dedicated in this course that we'll see later. And the way it is split into individual items. So let's say that, you know how to code, or you know English. Yes, I could say I know English, but it's not that, hey, English is this. I have tons of atomic effects represented in flashcards that overall, this makes a connection in a network, that everything makes sense, is connected to each other, and then yes, I have a good quality of learning. And that's it. That's the general principles of SuperMemo. You do minimum effort, minimum repetitions by trusting the algorithm that will calculate the optimum intervals using spaced repetition. Therefore, what you do as a user is to, at the end of the day, chunk everything down to atomic pieces, flashcards, and focus on quality of the material. That's it. Those are the principles of SuperMemo. Easy peasy. Easy to say, not that easy to put into practice. But that's the start. The start is just knowing what are those. That's all for now. See you incrementally.